Welcome to Randomly Selected. My name is Mario. Today on the show, we have the pleasure, we, meaning me and you, have the pleasure to hang out with one of the most prolific rappers in our world. Rhymefest is on the show today. We talk a lot about Chicago, of course, and we talk about him and how he has navigated all these different spaces, still being that dude Rhymefest. If you know, you know. Ladies and gentlemen, it is a pleasure to introduce to you Rhymefest. I can, without embarrassing my friend, I can directly remember the last time we rode a bus together.
Yeah.
We were rolling down Lake Park.
Yeah.
And right before we got to 47th Street, I looked at you. I was like, you know, you're not going to be doing this much longer, G. And like maybe a year later, Jesus Walks hit. And I was like, well, I guess that's the last time I'll see Rhymefest on a bus.
But you know, even after that, and even after I signed my deal with J Records back in the day,
Ooh,
like
that was a
2015, 14, but like I would try to get on the bus and ride the CTA
you still did your
and
thing.
do it because it's important. It's always been important to me, bro, to stay grounded. And sometimes I made mistakes and like went too deep in the ground, you know what I mean? Too fast. But it's like to stay like a tree. A tree has roots that goes down deep, but its branches lift up to the sun.
That's right.
And it's always been important to me to be between both spaces. You know what I mean? And I've talked about this with a lot of my friends who have ascended so high, it's hard to come down.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
to be
yeah.
grounded.
Yeah.
And we talk about the blessing of being able to be in both spaces. So yeah, that was my practice for how to stay in Chicago, staying on that bus.
Because I would see you sometimes just casually just walking down the street. And I mean, this is after and the only reason why I keep referencing, or why I will keep referencing Jesus Walks, that's a very important piece of poetry there, brother. That's important, right? Even if people don't have the mindset in a spiritual aspect to think along those terms, the fact that someone dared write that and then someone dared record it and say it out loud and it was received so powerfully. So we would see you walking around, or I'd see you and be like, oh, there goes Fest. All right. And I kind of like keep it moving. Like he hasn't gotten to the I'm never coming back here. Screw y'all. You know, it was always good. And it still remains good to see you. You did something to me one time that Common did to me. You saw me walking down the street and you beep, beep. Come here, man. I want you to listen to something.
Yeah.
I'm like, what? Yes, I will get in your car, sir. I know you. Common did that to me one time right before like Water for Chocolate came out on Damon. And me and him used to kind of go at it at Red Dog when he was drinking. And he saw me and he beep, beep. Hey, man, come here. And he had saw me doing poetry with Malik Youssef at Cotton Club. And I'm like, oh, Lord, Common's getting ready to drive me to the quarry, chop my head off, and leave me for dead in the quarry. But he asked me, he wanted my opinion.
Why would you think that?
Because we had been going back and forth.
Oh, yeah.
In the middle of the night at Red Dog.
Yeah.
But he asked my opinion about something. And it meant so much to me that he considered asking me what did I think about something pertaining to his already big career. And when you pull me in the ride, not far from where we are, and you're like, I want you to listen to something, that means something to me. Are you that dude that does that? You're like, you know, instead of going to the label like, hey, this is what I have in mind, you tended to get the ear of the people. And is that...
Well, I mean, it depends on which era you asking. You know what I'm saying? Like, what was I chasing at that time? And depending on what I was chasing is probably who I was asking.
Right.
You know
right
what I'm
on,
saying?
Right
But to your point, you are not a rapper. You enjoy the art of hip hop. So who better to ask? You know what I'm saying? Like, what do you think of this piece of art that we're crafting? You know what I mean? Like, we around artists all day, and artists have these opinions. It's bias implicitly. You know what I'm saying? Artists have implicit bias, and so somebody who's around the scene that, you know what you are? you were curating hip hop before we knew it would be a museum exhibit.
Had I known, I would be getting paid curator money.
But but
I
you
didn't know
can't.
at the time,
But you
no.
can't because
Exactly,
you loved
exactly.
it.
And I still do. I still do.
When you leave with love, sometimes the money got to follow. But
it
you know what I'm saying?
It will. It usually does.
But because we all saw that, and we saw the spirit of that in one another. You know what I mean? So what you speaking of with me is, I saw the spirit in you of greatness. And what you're saying, what I'm saying to you is, we saw the spirit in you that you would tell the story.
Look at that.
And here we are.
Who knew? All right. Thank you. And you can send those cash apps to.
So what? What do you think of this song? And what do you think of that story?
Right,
And people are just running their stories past you because you're the narrator.
Man, I think we all did that for each other, though. I think when I think of you, not just you individually, because we're gonna get to that, but when I think of you, I think of Juice, I think about Malik Youssef, and I think about Kanye. And the reason why I think about the four of you is because there are four different Chicago stories in music, right? Separately and together. We were talking off air about the many, many nights at Elbow Room. Shout out to Jesse De La Pena and to the man Dirty MF.
Dirty MF.
And Pumpin' Pete and all them folks for those crazy nights at Elbow. But what went on after the show was quote unquote over, it was either Frost lost his keys to his car, couldn't find his car, or we had to go back and see you and Juice and maybe 30, 40 people on a cypher right in the middle of the street before they had apartment buildings and stuff over by the Elbow. Killing people, killing each other, just doing it. And it was so organic and beautiful. And these words, and it wasn't all like scorched earth stuff. It was like some real knowledge getting dropped in these verses. What was that like for you, man?
Was that the 90s?
Yes, it was. What we can remember of it, yes. It was the night, like 93, 94.
Yo,
like that,
it was the training ground for greatness. It was the unofficial Olympics that led to Scribble Jam, that led to the Rap Olympics, that led to entanglements with Eminem and then great people from local corridors that gladiate their way up with their word magic. You know what I mean? What's incredible to me is to see what everyone grew up to be. You know what I'm saying? But at that time, bro, we were at The Point. We were at Operation Push. That was the first time I ever got destroyed by Juice. Was at Operation Push.
I think that night is one of those legendary Chicago hip hop nights.
Man, bro, and bro, to think that even back then, I didn't know that was where Jesse Jackson and Operation Breadbasket and to think that institution was reaching out to us as young people to facilitate a space where Wu-Tang Clan could come, where we could do rap battles in our community. Like sometimes, Mario, we act like the black community ain't never had nothing and the old people failed us. And generation after generation, I see the same line like, and they didn't do this, we had
a lot.
We had a lot.
A lot.
And we gave a lot.
Yeah.
And let's just say that change is incremental in its growth. And let's in Chicago, let's stop talking about who didn't do what or who doing what with what. And let's support, you know what I'm saying? The growth part.
There's a lot here.
That has been built over generations.
Yeah.
Come on, man.
Way before us. I mean, even in just the idea of organizers, Mr. Raby and Jesse, and my aunt was down with Breadbasket at CLC and all
and
those
they
kind
provided
of things.
Spaces for John Monopoly,
Yeah,
for all of us, for people who would become great show promoters, and they weren't the only institution doing that. And you know what I'm saying? Like I look at the Harold Washington Cultural Center right now. You know what I'm saying? Providing opportunities for the next great. A lot of us in radio, Damati Pongo, WVON, you know what I'm saying? Like, bro, Chicago got spots if you want
man.
greatness.
Yeah, man. More than a few.
You know what I'm saying?
More than a few.
And so I just had to say all it because when you make me think of that, I think about if not for those institutions,
Yeah.
even the Nation of Islam. I grew up across the street from Mosque Marion.
Yes, sir.
If not for these institutions, I might have been folks. I might have been, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like whatever neighborhood I grew up in. But
Yeah.
we have alternatives here, and I'm grateful for these people and these institutions.
What was it, or what is it like for you when, like I mentioned earlier, Ye? You know, we're not just talking. I mean, if we can be frank for a minute, I called you a few months ago to ask you to do something with a Wide Awakes joint. And you're like, man, look, I'm in Montana. And that was right at the same time that Kanye was in Montana. So, you know, in my head, I'm like, okay, why is Fest in Montana at the same time? Is he there to like talk to bro? Is he there to like get to find this thing he might be looking for? Because people who have gone to Montana that I know, they're like, dude, when you go, it is peaceful, it is airy, it's huge, it gives you an opportunity to reflect and all those cool things. But I couldn't think about any of that stuff because I'm like, Fest is in Montana. And it was like the detective in me is like, man, what's going on in Montana? I couldn't ask you, are you there for him or are you there for you? Explain to me your Montana journey, and then I want to talk to about you and Kanye, if I can.
Yeah, that's fine. Right. So
nice hat, by the way. I see you.
Thank you.
I see what you're doing.
Thank you. I haven't. Yes.
Uh-huh.
This is the city hat. But so you know, when you called me, yes, I was in Montana. I believe I was at this mountain called the Top of the World, and it's the highest point at 15,000 feet, and it's where an ancient indigenous medicine wheel exists at the top of this mountain. It's so incredible because clouds don't never cover it and birds never land on it. And it's about 15,000 years old. And no one knows which tribe built it, but it's open for the public to walk up to the, and when you go up there, the energy at this medicine wheel is something that it will fundamentally change how you interact with nature and people when you come down. We've been, my wife and I, man, we've been finding magical spots around the world where it just seems like the core of God exists. And when we come back to this box, I mean, it's interesting. But I was in Montana when you called, but that's not where Kanye and a lot of us are. We're actually in Wyoming.
Okay, I'm sorry.
And so Montana and Wyoming are very close, like Chicago and Indiana.
Yeah.
But you know, I am in Wyoming a lot, and that's where he has a ranch in Wyoming. And so, where we are is at Yellowstone National Park, and so basically it's the biggest super volcano in the world.
Yes.
Which means all of the minerals, all of the animals, all of the creeks, rivers, lakes, buffalo. I mean, everything that everything that the pilgrim wanted this land for, that's where it started.
Wow.
That's where you see why.
Wow.
And I think sometimes we get so caught up with the system of America, we don't know the beauty of the country. And so
there's a lot here.
I've been taking the time during this pandemic to discover the beauty not only of the world. I've been around the world a few times, but man, what's the beauty of America?
Yeah.
And America is one of the most beautiful countries in the world if we would just get out of our heads about what we don't like or who we don't like.
Rhymefest and Kanye West. Those two names are kind of synonymous with each other. If you talk about the history of rap music, this recent history, can't talk about it without talking about those two cats. And you can't talk about it without speaking about Jesus Walks and how important that song is, not just to those two gentlemen, but to the culture in general. I kind of wanted to know from him about his relationship with Kanye West, but I'm not trying to turn this into the Kanye West show. That'll be a show when we have Kanye West on. But right now, though, we get a chance to ask Vest about his relationship with one of the most prolific rappers and producers in history, Kanye West.
Before I met Kanye, I was with this group, this local group called Cyanide.
Yes, you were.
Then
Lord.
after Cyanide, I was with this crew called Mole Men.
Yes, you
with Panic,
were.
you know
With
what I'm
Panic.
saying?
My
And so
man.
I don't want to talk about the history of me in Chicago without saying what Mole Men did to really groom me as an artist. PNS,
sir.
Panic, you know what I'm saying? All those guys,
the
Memo,
brothers.
you know what I'm saying?
Memo.
Like all those guys, and me and Memo grew up together
Right,
in Jeffrey
right,
Manor. I was
right.
my best friend.
You know I'm from the Manor as well.
Yeah,
sir.
come on, bro.
96
So-
in Brennan, brother.
Come on,
Watch
man.
out,
I'm
man.
From Van Felicity.
You
The
dig?
Memo was on Paxton.
Yes, sir.
So all of that was the training ground for making records. Was Mole Men. You know what I'm saying? How We Chill. That's what took me and Juice from battling, and then Mole Men put us on a record together and said, look, you know, I know y'all battling, but y'all be even more dynamic together. And then we made a song, How We Chill Part 2.
Great song.
That was a local, you know what I mean,
Great
successful song.
Yeah, great song.
And so,
Great song.
man,
Don't
like,
do that. I got goosebumps. G. That
yeah,
was a
this is
great
How We
song.
Chill Part 2.
That was a great
Dope it is, I am. Can you rock? I can. Yeah, like, so,
Yeah.
you know, like, and me and Juice just going crazy, right? Like, that's when I had to learn how to listen, how to collaborate, how to be humble enough to know, okay, maybe just because you said it don't mean it's the best way it can flow on a beat. You know what I'm saying? And through that collaboration, it prepared me to have a friendship and a relationship with Kanye.
Yeah.
Because,
yeah, I can
you know
see
what I'm
that.
saying?
I can see how that
like,
works.
you know what I mean? Had I came in just off the auction block, you know what I'm saying? Like, it might not have worked, you know what I'm saying? Like, but like, I was refined.
Yes, that's the word. You were.
I was a little more refined.
And before we go any deeper into the Kanye thing, have you and Juice? Because I was thinking about it today, on my way here. What a full album of the two of you. Because I think about rap duos a lot.
You know, we started a group. It was going to be me, Twan Gabbs, Mickey Halstead, and Juice.
That would have been ridiculous.
And we did 3 songs, and then the group broke up.
Oh, wow. Why'd y'all break up?
Because everybody's important.
Word. There it is.
Everybody's important.
Shout out to Mickey Halstead.
Shout out to everybody.
Shout out to
and it's
everybody.
love. It's not like it wasn't love.
Was it like you all were in the studio like, you know what, man, I'm going home?
No, it was just like it started happening. We started putting songs together, but I don't think it was a priority for any of us. So it just, and then maybe it was me too.
You know, when you do the complete Rhymefest,
Let me not do my implicit bias. It was me because I was kind of leading the effort. Like, yo, this would be a good idea, and then we did it, and then I stopped leading the effort.
Word.
You know what I'm saying?
got you.
Like we and I should have continued leading the effort until its completion. But you know what's crazy? That's the problem most artists have, and especially great ones. You're gonna do. Man, what would the Prince and Michael Jackson album would have been like?
Sure.
You know what I mean? But I guess he had to go do bad. Like you're gonna do like you're gonna do like 50. You're gonna do 50 projects, and to the naked eye, they're all gonna look great, and only one of them will make it. And that might be the mediocre one.
Well, always. You're right. You're right.
That's just the way art goes.
Yep. It's like Stevie Wonder said one time. He's like, I have songs that I have been sitting on since I was a teenager.
Yeah.
That I just don't know what I want to do. Maybe I'll release them, maybe I won't. And he says it so candidly. If you ever get a chance to like hear an interview and he talks about music that's never been released that he's done, there's a Jackson 5 Stevie Wonder produced album. Nobody's ever heard it except for Stevie and the Jackson 5. And I bet it's bangers all over it. It's Stevie Wonder.
Bro, they say in Prince vault.
He's got, 8,000 songs? Maybe more than that?
100 years.
Yeah, that's crazy.
It is vault.
That's crazy.
So
That's crazy.
So that's all I'm saying is
Yeah.
like, sometimes we get so mad at artists and we judge art and boy, we got so many judgments.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? But art again, bro, back to what we said in the beginning. It's a spirit.
Yeah, it is. It is. It's like
It flow
yeah,
how
it
it
is.
flow.
Yeah, it is. All right, so we're gonna talk about Kanye before you leave.
I thought we were.
We are
I thought we was in the
right
midst
now.
of it.
So
Okay.
how did this start? And when before Jesus walks and all that, how did the idea of, hey, I can help you because I hear something, etc. with you and him?
What do you mean?
Or are you more mentor for him? You think?
No, nothing like that. It's Dr. Donda West.
Oh man, she's such a great lady.
Yeah,
Such a
Fulbright
great
scholar.
lady. Yeah, I performed
You know,
with poetry with her a few times.
Dean
Amazing
of the English department at Chicago State University, mentor to all of the boys in her home. Mickey Halstead will tell you stories.
Facts.
GLC will tell you stories. Really Doe can tell you
Facts.
stories.
Yeah.
I could keep naming boys that came through.
Yeah.
And one of the first things that Kanye would do is introduce any prospective friend to his mother. You know what I'm saying? And his mother, like, no matter how we came, how rough around the edges we were, she didn't know much about hip hop, but she knew how to deal with black boys. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? And she was an advocate, starting with her son, extending through all of us.
Yeah.
And so that's why, for me, that's why I work so hard to preserve the name and legacy of Dr. Donda West through the community programs. Donnie and I had grew, and even now through some of the work we're doing with the house over on South Shore Drive, which is Kanye's childhood home.
I have a friend that lives 2 houses down from there. I pass
See
by
you
there
doing
almost every
work,
week.
yeah.
I'm like, look at the work.
Yeah.
I see it.
And
I see
it's
it.
been a long time, and me and my brother had to have public fights
Yeah.
to like get the work started. You know what I'm saying? But it started, and Mario. Speaking of Kanye, man, it taught me something about family and brotherhood. That if you don't have fights with your family and love through it, there was no proof that you were really that close.
Heard.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like the fact that when we talk about Dr. Donda West bringing us together, and we're not family because of blood, we're family because of a core value system. And it tells me something about how to fix our communities too. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? Because I'm seeing what we're doing based on a value system from a matriarch of boys.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And like, and we're all men, masculine. I still got my masculine, but she taught us how to listen. She taught us how to be ourselves, how to say things like, we all self-conscious. I'm just the first to admit it.
Right.
How to be honest and
Right.
clear and transparent.
Right.
And when we fight over that. Are you being honest? Are you being transparent? We only argue about the values so we can kind of get it aligned and right so we can work together to blossom. And look what it can do for a community. Look at how many people Kanye has helped production-wise. Resurrected great artists who we were going to relegate to history, and then all of a sudden they have a
Dollar
whole
record
new
band,
life.
yeah.
You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? Like, bro, I went to Croatia, and somebody was not Croatia, where was I at? Macedonia. And somebody ran up to me to sign his shoe because they look at him like a Jesus of fashion, culture, and art, and we the disciples. And you never know when you just rhyming from your community, from Operation Push, from
Yeah.
The Point, from the Elbow Room, from Subterranean, from you never know what that's vibrating out here. It, bro, Mario.
No, I feel you.
Bro, it made me realize, bro, when we write, we spelling. When we speak it, we cast spells. Mm-hmm. A lot of us are not very aware of the spells we're casting from our mouths, from what we writing. Mm-hmm. That's why man, people out here singing death chants to each other. And what happens? This guy got shot. That guy got killed over that song, That's those magical death notes you're whispering. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, be careful, man. That's why, like,
that's word sound power, Fest.
Bro, that's why I don't come out with a lot of music.
Yeah.
Because I realize what I say, I know people want to be entertained. Fuck that.
Yeah.
I realize what I say can create a song like Glory. I mean, I know we talking about Jesus Walks.
Mm-hmm. No, Glory as
you know
well.
What I'm saying?
Yeah.
But when Common and I wrote Glory, we on the phone, and the power of just, we on the phone. Common said, "Hey, bro, can we just pray before we write this song? Because I don't even know if she gonna use it because it's a rap song and a movie from the 60s about King. But let's pray about it." And we prayed, and we asked Medgar Evers, Fannie Lou Hamer, Michael Brown. We asked everyone who passed to give us their story, to finish their narrative. Hands to the heaven, one man, no weapon, goes against, yes, glory is destined. Every day, women and men become blessings. The sins that go against our skin becomes blessings. The movement is a rhythm to us. I forgot the rest. But anyway, but you know, like when all of that stuff start happening and flowing through us, freedom is like religion to us. Yeah. So, but when all of that stuff start flowing and flowing through us, Glory was finished, or at least the rap part was done in 2 hours.
Yeah.
And it really lets you know, bro, that like we're just portals.
Absolutely.
But we be claiming so much credit and acting so arrogant
all
around stuff
when we don't need to.
You don't even know why it came. It might have been your curse
that
it came through you. You know what I'm saying? Like, so I just look at it like, bro, the power of word magic.
Yeah, word sound power. That's real. That's super real. You have to also keep in mind too, man. And you said it, the influence. You don't know who, it's this whole radio thing. Doug Banks told me, rest in peace, Doug Banks, years ago, when I had gotten to it at a radio station, with my first radio station in Greenville, South Carolina. Came back home, defeated and deflated. I was done. Bumped into him at an event on State Street. And I told him what happened. I didn't know him, but he knew who my boss was. And I told him what happened. And he was like, if you want this, if this is what you really want, you're going to have to figure out what getting up feels like for you. Because you don't know what's going to happen once you get a chance to get in front of a microphone and speak to people, how many people you'll touch and reach. I used to tell Rick Party all the time, like, you have no idea. Tonight you said this. 10 years from now, some kid's going to remember this night. And you may have influenced them to do great things. So, yeah, you signing a shoe in Macedonia, you a brother from the manor. We just don't, our words and our actions behind those words, right? The meanings of those things that we say and write. It carries a lot of weight.
It carries weight.
It carries a lot of weight.
It's only half the weight.
And there's that. There's that.
It's only half the weight. It's a whole weight, and it's only half of what you need for a whole movement.
Are you?
If that makes sense.
It does. Of course it does. Are you confident when I say the statement, and this isn't the hip hop is going to be all right statement at all, but are you confident when I say the statement, we culturally are going to be all right?
We who?
We the people. We, us, you, me.
It's hard for me to think about we the people, we the black people, we Chicagoans, we which people? The people, our village, like who?
Let's go with our village.
Who do you include in your village?
Ooh.
Tell me the type of people that are in your village.
Who are the people in your neighborhood? Is that what you just asked me?
Yeah. It may not be the people you meet each day.
No, sir. The people in my village, I think we share the same kind of vibe about the folks that we have in our village. They're like-minded people. They're people who are striving for excellence within themselves, people who want to have a template that's better than the one that we may exist in now, to be able to teach, to be able to receive.
Let me ask. Okay, these are all nice people.
There are also some felons in that village.
Yeah, do you need some felons in your village?
There's some felons in my village.
Okay, good. That's all I want. Okay, go ahead.
There are some very shady characters in my village.
Okay, and that's cool. It's cool.
But those shady characters are also the same cats that have knowledge and they have wisdom, and they can also impart that knowledge upon people. Yeah. To not be a felon, or this is what happens if.
Yeah.
But who was it? Mr. Farrakhan, I think, said, you get more, not even Minister Farrakhan, but one of the tenets of Islam is where they can go to teach people about Islam. You're not going to reach someone.
In the jail. Yeah.
Right. You go to jail. You find them in a bar. You find them in jail. You find them in the lowest places because that's where they need it the most. You're not going to always get somebody to come to a mosque. You're not always going to get somebody to do salat. In fact, Fest, no joke, last night, speaking of village, on my way to the White Sox game, there's this man, right as we're getting ready to hit the viaduct, and y'all call it viaduct, I know. Right as we get ready to hit the viaduct to get to the stadium, there's a brother doing salat in the street, right in front of his Jeep. And I stopped, and I'm walking with my friend Jake Austin, and we both kind of like looked, and I just kind of stopped, and I was like, my man's doing salat. That's heavy. Those are the kind of people in my village. Yeah. In the street in front of my Jeep. I don't care who's
bold
looking.
People.
Yes.
Colorful people.
Yes.
Dope people. Yeah, dope people.
Dope people.
All right, okay.
Men and women and children.
All right. Now what's the question about the village? Okay. Now are we going to be okay?
Are we, the village, going to be okay?
Why wouldn't we be?
I just think that we're in a time where it's kind of heavy.
Bro, the village is better than ever. Have you looked around?
I have. I just wanted to hear what you had to say. I have my opinion, sir.
Okay. Let's do this. Tell me what you look around and see, and then I'll tell you what I look around.
See, this is just so everybody that's listening knows. This is our conversation almost all the time. You always do this.
Look around the village right now, proverbially, and tell me what you see, and I'll tell you what I see.
One of the things that I see, and this is also leading into another subject that I know is kind of close to you. I see our health not being as vibrant and as strong as it should be. I think, and I said this recently, I said it on a terrestrial show, black men, not even just black men, but men need to be better about their health and taking care of themselves and being certain about things, making sure that they know where they stand with their health so that it's not a surprise if they suddenly get sick and go. I see a lot of vibrance, though, in our community, too. I see people during this epidemic, this ongoing violent epidemic in Chicago, standing up for Chicago, standing up for their neighborhoods. There's 77 dope neighborhoods in this great city, and I see people in every one of them all the time standing up for their hood. So I see those things. I also see things, going back to the health part, where folks don't want to get vaccinated for the coronavirus because they have legit reasons, in some cases, to be afraid of what they might do. But then when you give them the information, and it's not disputable information, they're still like not going to do it. Yeah. And then they'll reference the Tuskegee experiments, but won't reference the part of the reason why there's so many controls on medicine in the United States and around the world now is because of the Tuskegee experiments. The inability, or rather the ability to be able to say, we need to pull this vaccine off the market because it's causing blood clots instead of just letting it ride. Right? People kind of overlook that. They're like, well, whatever, I'm still not going to take it. So those are some of the things I see. I see a system educationally where I think we are lacking. I think there's a lot of work that the community builders need to do to inform the people who run these schools what the deal is. And then finally, since you asked, I see a police system that doesn't work. And I don't think policing the way it is constructed now works. What's the alternative? I don't know. I think that's another information session for the like-minded folks to go, what would work? Because you can talk about the abolition of anything, the abolition of drugs, the abolition of cars, the abolition of the police. What are the replacements for those things? And all I know is I keep reading and seeing how policing in the United States just does not work. So those are the things I see when I look in my village. Sir.
You know, and I'm listening to you, based on your assessment, the village got a 50-50 chance.
50, more like 60-40.
No, well, okay, well, good.
More like 60-40. I'm not all gloom and doom, sir.
No, I'm saying 50-50 was good to me, too.
50-50 is good, but 60-40.
Yeah, 60-40. Yeah, man, like, that's dope. Like,
your assessment.
we got vibers happening, like, shit.
That's what I'm talking about.
All right, so let me go. All right, let's go to health. My wife and I just joined this bike club called Streets is Calling.
Yes, man, I'm trying to be down.
Look, okay. Everybody in the room hand went up. That means everybody know, right?
Yes.
It's 500 of us riding through these streets.
Yes.
So when you talk to me about black health, it seems to me we doing better in that regard. When I go to the health food store across the street, it's a black man that's running that health food store, and GQ running around could tell you about health.
Man,
you know
listen
what I mean?
here, shout out GQ.
Shout out to GQ, right?
For sure.
So there's an awareness, and there is a movement. There are movements. I just went to dinner when we did Streets is Calling Bike Club. I went online and saw Master Ace does a bike club. You know what I'm saying? And then I hit him up like, hey, I'm going to fly to New York and have dinner with you. Let's talk about how to unite these bike clubs like nationally. He's like, dope. I said, we're going to do music, videos, everything. He was like, dope. We went to New York, had dinner with Ace and his family.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, and then we talking about how to bring Chicago bike clubs together with New York bike clubs. So there's a health movement out here of us, and there's a story to be told about that. There's an older generation that's stuck in a program. I don't know what to do about nobody program. The other thing was you say police?
Yeah, the policing in the United States. Policing in the United States, as constructed, in my opinion, does not work.
When we talking about the police, you're only talking about the referees. The system is the NFL. We all want to talk about the person who blew the whistle and hit a foul and it wasn't a real foul. And it wasn't, but the game is messed. The NFL is screwed up. They distract us by having the cop that I live across the street with at odds with me, or the white cop that don't know nothing about black people, and all this look like an alien planet to him if he's from Skokie, you know what I'm saying? There's no way we can understand each other. The system is fractured.
Yes.
And so we have to stop talking about reform and start talking about restructure, a reimagining of how we do safety in our communities. And so, but we can't reimagine it for a system until we get our families right. You can't be letting your cousin come in the house and put guns on the table. You can't be letting such and such is doing stuff out of grandma's house. We have to have a new standard of accountability for one another, because the system can't change. The system is only based on us. We think the system is something that's foreign machine. The system, I could go down the street and I could tell you the blocks where voters stay.
That part.
I can tell you
that part
by what the street look like who vote.
Man, look.
Meaning
that part.
That part.
Yes, sir. I know exactly.
And until you get your family right and your house right, your street ain't gonna be fixed.
Say word. You will have.
That's all.
That's it. That you will have a missing manhole cover on your block forever.
Until you and your auntie get along. Till you and your cousins stop stealing from each other.
Right. I wonder too, man, when I think about you, I wonder what haven't you done? You got I saw your awards when you stopped over to the promontory.
Okay,
one
I'm
time.
gonna tell you something Farrakhan told me. Minister Farrakhan said Chicago State. He said, Brother Rhymefest, you got an Oscar. You want an Oscar? I said, yes, sir, Minister. He said, that shit is dead. I said, excuse me, sir. He said, as soon as you do something, it's dead. What are you doing today? What are you doing tomorrow? That is dead. You can't lean on ashes.
I almost said something.
And so with that, it's like, man, I don't know what I did.
Right.
I'm so busy striving for longevity that I'm thinking about what's happening in front of us. Like, but yeah, I guess it was a lot of stuff.
It was a lot. Yeah. Well, let me tell you.
But I'm gonna tell you
it
something.
Was a lot.
Let me tell you something. Have you ever? What's the most isolated highway you ever drove down?
I don't know if it's a highway, but
or...
I would say it's a street, and it's probably Halsted Street. And the only reason why I call it isolated is because it goes from end to end of Chicago like forever. Forever.
And when you go way out on Halsted, you know what very few people think about? Who built that street?
Yeah.
Who dug it? Like they built a road, bro, for everybody.
Right.
And nobody thinks about who made Stony Island for us. You know what I'm saying? And so I look at, for peace, for the peace of my heart and my mind and in my spirit, for life, I have to look at everything that I create as something no one will know who built.
You comfortable with that?
Yes.
Okay. Because that's the same thing in writing poems, bro. Because it's like nobody while I'm living is going to get one of these poems, or while I'm doing this, I might do something else. I might act in a movie one day, and somebody go, "He writes poems."
Jesus is lucky he got 2,000-3,000 years out of it.
Man, don't you come on here doing. We need an organ in here.
Come on, bro.
Don't you come in here with all that preaching stuff.
Jesus is lucky he got 2,000-3,000 years. So like every time I do something, I'll be like, all right, Jesus walks. That's 50 years on the clock.
Yes, sir.
Like,
there it is. I got 50.
Like because the majority of that time, I mean, it's not me. I assisted someone who it's their work of art, in history, you know what I'm saying? And so I'm constantly trying to work to put time on the clock for my children to be able to get resources from the culture that I'm getting currency from,
Yeah.
Like really, bro, our culture is our country. It's the only thing we have to trade for leverage for resources.
Pause. Rhymefest just said, "Our culture is our country." That's it.
That's what KRS-One was trying to teach us.
Oh, Cats wasn't ready for all that,
Like,
then. But that's exactly what he was saying. With the culture capital that we put into music, sports, entertainment, literature, that's capital.
It's capital.
That's all seeds being planted.
So I look at the culture as
You're like a groovy gardener. You know what I'm saying?
I am the god of the garden.
You're the groovy gardener, bro.
Oh, yeah.
That's your gig.
Because we have to tend to the culture.
Yeah, man.
But when you leverage the culture for resource, you have to use that resource to cultivate the culture.
Yes, sir.
And that's where we get messed up.
It's reciprocity.
You got to.
It's reciprocity, yeah.
To keep the country vibrant. The country of culture vibrant. Our culture is our Wakanda.
Yeah, man.
That's why, interestingly enough, it's only when you hold the culture for hostage that you can negotiate with this country.
As always has been. And the case in point, when the NBA said, when the brothers was like, we're not playing today.
Yeah.
And they did a work stoppage.
And they were like, okay.
Scared everybody.
What you want?
What
and
do
they
you
were
want?
like, we want you to set the voting machines up different. Like, okay.
Okay. Matter of fact, why don't you use all the stadiums that are open right now? Your
culture, and more, that's another thing when you ask me, what do I see when I look around? I see young artists that know how to use the capital from the culture to make tangible change. When I see what Waka Flocka is doing with homes and with the trap house out in the ATL, it gives me ideas about what we need to be doing at the house on South Shore in Chicago. Like, I'm seeing culture being used. Like, the reason the Jews got reparations is because the Jews have a country in a strategic location called Israel that allows for that's small compared to what we're going to do here. The reason the Japanese got reparations because they have a country called Japan that is a strategic ally with America that black folk, your only country is your culture.
Yeah, man.
And if we can utilize the culture in a way to bring leverage to those things we say we want in our community, we wouldn't have a problem. But if you think the government gonna do something, come on.
Yeah, that's kind of
but they will when there's a demand, and when we have to know how to negotiate. We've never learned as Black Americans how to negotiate a good contract.
Say that. So what is it that you're on? First of all, I don't know if you're doing new projects or not because you're doing so much stuff. But is there a new, for example, is there a new Rhymefest Jazzy Jeff joint?
Yeah, so
because I'm playing it on
M3,
the show.
We did M3.
Just so you know.
Yeah, did you got M3?
I do not, but I can.
I'm gonna forward you the link to M3.
Thank you. See, this is why
and then
we're friends.
I'm gonna send you some exclusive joints for the new album Love Lessons, which got a lot of Black Thought in it.
Oh wow!
Got a lot of Black Thought. Blessed me with like 3-4 joints. I got a joint with me, Raheem Devon, Black Thought, and Fonte.
Get out of here! What?
Crazy.
What?
You know what I'm saying? And just like I call it like
brother.
It's like it's luxury rap.
Oh,
not like expensive rap, but luxury in terms of like deluxe. You know what I'm saying? Deluxe hip hop. Like it's lyrics, it's storytelling, it's classic beats. S1 did all the tracks. You know what I'm saying?
Say the word. That's
my man. You know what I'm saying? And
all right. You know, you've always been my favorite. I just want to let you know.
I'm gonna sing you all the songs. and then my man John the Author.
Oh wow, yes, a good brother.
Yeah, John the Author and I did the Love Lessons album. That's coming with the book. You know what I mean? It's a lot about me and Jeff, me and Exhibit, me and different our interpersonal relationships, and I'm writing in the book about my divorce from Donnie. And you know, it was just how men process pain.
Yeah.
I think we don't think a lot about how men process heartache.
We don't.
We don't talk about men's
men don't talk to
heartache.
each other about
we don't talk to each other.
I'm not going to say that. Let me take that back. Some men do, but and I don't want to generalize it like that. But you're correct. We don't have a conversation where I can hit you on the horn and be like, bro, I broke up with my girl and it's killing me and I need to talk to somebody about that. We don't do that.
And so that's where I'm at right now. Where I'm at right now is just being more transparent, clear, open, vulnerable. You know what I'm saying? Flowing in the moment, you know. So John and Love Lessons is coming with the book and the album, and then John the Author and I have a local album that we're making called Trapped in Heaven.
Okay.
And so that's just like just a real Chicago, but it's like where I believe we're going spiritually. Cause I'm real like right now, the majority of everything that I'm about is spiritual balance. You know what I'm saying?
It is important.
Super important.
It is important.
To be cool, like
you dig, so you can get
be cool,
yes.
Bro. Like,
I'm a I hate the word follower, but I'll check out Michael Bernard Beckwith.
Okay,
and Agape,
yeah.
And the idea of a different perspective about one's spirituality, how it's really about you, the individual person, trying to make yourself receptive to that greater energy, that greater thing. In a city like Chicago, where it's so many, like you said it earlier, cats out here casting spells, they don't even know they're doing it.
Bro, you know,
that's an energy, that's a spiritual energy, and it's not right. The vibration is wrong.
I study shamanism and Tao.
Yeah, man.
And Taoism.
Yeah, man.
And so, like, you know, bro, we be out in Peru doing plant medicine. You know what I'm saying? Like, really, like...
You met the Dalai Lama?
Letting the earth speak to us. No, I wish I could.
Yeah, you ain't got to wish it. It's your Rhymefest. Hey, Dalai Lama, what's up? It's Fest. I want to come and holler at you for a minute. Can I come through?
You know what's funny about what you're saying? I remember there was a Sunday service at Northerly Island, and I took about 100, 200 young people, but the way he had it, he's in the middle, and it was just so many people, and the young people I bought couldn't see him. And the way I just be like sit back like I want to see, like, you know what I'm saying? And then they came up to me like, Fest, you have to get us through and up to the front and up to see him. And so I was like, all right. And I just walked through. Come on, man, it's Rhymefest. Get out the way. And everybody started looking like, oh. And I'm like, oh, I hate the attention. Like, you know what I mean? And then I see Kanye come through, and he just took his 2 fingers and did like that. And the whole sea of people parted. And I realized the difference. Like, I realized the difference. The difference, the difference is I don't like it.
Right.
We can both do it.
But you don't like it.
But I don't. It's trouble.
Yeah, man. Yeah, man.
It's trouble. And it's interesting because everybody think they want to be famous and everybody want to be famous. And when we really get down to the nitty gritty of fame, I know you believe, some young people believe that it is what love looks like. When they love me, when I'm accepted, when I'm validated, when I'm no longer getting smacked in the head, molested, or whatever you're going through. But it might be the extreme, opposite extreme of that trauma. You know what I'm saying? So it's not the trauma of your poverty. It's the trauma of your overindulgence. You know what I mean? And it's when I saw, I'm like, okay, God has blessed us all with extreme power. How we use it is up to us. Be careful, you could get yourself in trouble with your power. Some people can like that. But do you know the weight on the head of a person that can do that?
Yeah, man.
That can part the sea.
Yeah. That's crazy.
Versus a person that's like, don't look at me, we're coming through.
For all of the culturally significant things that Rhymefest has either done on his own or been a part of in a collaboration with any one of a million people, there's new stuff coming. New stuff, you said, Mario? Yes, I said new stuff coming. This is a show of announcements all of a sudden. I had Eric make all those announcements. Godfrey made a big announcement. Now Rhymefest is making a very big announcement, and you are about to hear it. I need flex bombs and exclusive noises. Stephon, get on it, brother. Let's get some noises when somebody big says something.
I can spit okay. I got 2 rhymes I could do.
Okay.
I can spit a rhyme.
You made Stephon's day, by the way.
I can spit a rhyme. I can spit a rhyme that I finish, or I could spit one that I'm working on, and we could work on it.
I want the working on it one. Are you asking me to help you work on it?
I mean,
you don't want that.
Give me your ideas.
All right, let's do the working one.
And then it's one, huh?
Let's do the working on it one.
The work. We'll start there.
Okay.
So the one I'm working on, I got music.
No, just go
on.
All
right. So it's like, I was focused. I was selfish. I was trying to get mine right. My daughter started dating. Now I can't get my mind right. Uh-oh. She was only 9. Wait, now she a mom height. How do a father tell his girls bye on prom night? See, precious time is finite, and assholes only get the point in hindsight. Lemon head niggas only looking for limelight. In the year of return, I'll return to the crime site. On the Gold Coast, out in Cape Coast, saw the same folks, the same notes from the bottom of slave boats. Felt the Holy Ghost blowing to my face like, the world is mine, everything was paid for. And now I gotta do it again like, da-na-na-na-na-na-na-na, da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da. Like I gotta figure, but I need to figure out where I'm going with it, cause it's like on the Gold Coast, out in Cape Coast, saw the same folks, the same notes from the bottom of slave boats. Felt the Holy Ghost blowing to my face like, the world is yours, everything was paid for. But I just feel like I completed the point.
Yes, you did.
But the beat keep going.
Yes, it does.
the spirit wants some more.
It wants some more.
Like,
that's that. You don't need my help. That's brilliant. I'm good. I'm not gonna ruin your piece.
I'll figure it out. I gotta go home. I got raps to write, bro.
That's what it is. That's what it is.
But you know, look, bro. Think about this. I practice the craft of writing raps, not because I'm trying to put something out to make money, but because I enjoy doing it. So when I put something out, whatever it brings to me is a bonus piece of fruit. And I think if more artists looked at our art like something we love to do, not something that's not working hard enough for us, I think we get more out of art.
Thanks, everybody, for listening to Randomly Selected today. And thank you so much to my man Rhymefest. That was big stuff, y'all. Please, if you see any Donda's House info out there, make sure you do the right thing and help out Brother Rhymefest. I said it on the show. I'm just going to say it again. That's my man. I can call that brother and talk about anything. And I'm so glad to have people like that in my village. Thanks for listening to Randomly Selected, powered by the Silver Room, and we will talk to you soon. Don't forget to check out Dwayne Powell on Sound Rotation, because if you don't, I'll hear about it, because Dwayne will tell me, and then I'll have to come and find you. Until next time, peace.